born by the river.
On March 7, 1965, a group of about 600 began a march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, the state capital. They were marching to protest for voting rights. They also were protesting a shooting about 3 weeks earlier of Jimmy Lee Jackson, who had been shot and killed by a state trooper while attempting to defend his mother at a civil rights demonstration. When they reached the Edmund Pettus Bridge, armed state troopers attacked them violently. Television cameras captured the violent attack, and it was aired on national television. It was one of the turning points in popular opinion for the civil rights movement. A few days later, Dr. King had flown to Selma, and the marchers attempted a second march. This time, as they reached the bridge, they knelt, they prayed, and they returned to the Brown Chapel from where they had begun their march. That night, a minister was killed by white vigilantes. Judge Frank Johnson had begun hearings in his court about the rights of the protesters to proceed, and he concluded that they did. And so, under federal protection, the marchers started a third time. And on March 21, they began the third and successful march from Selma to Montgomery. By the time they reached the Capitol on March 25th, reports estimate that almost 25,000 had joined their ranks. It was one of the seminal moments in the civil rights movement, and the initial march has been known as Bloody Sunday. The Selma marches show us the force of the law at its worst and at its best. In our time, too, we see confrontations between protesters and governments in our own country and in other nations as well. As lawyers, it's our responsibility to see that the force of the law is used to protect liberty, to preserve the rights of individuals, and to be a positive instrument of social justice.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come.